The salt no longer stung his eyes. It had become a permanent part of his skin, baked into the deep, winding crevices of a face that had stared down to many empty horizons. 84 days. That was the count of his shame, ticking loudly in the back of his mind. His hands, scarred and curled like the dry roots of an ancient tree, trembled as they gripped the frayed, salt-stiffened edges of a useless net. Hunger was a quiet, familiar guest in his small, dark shack, sitting in the corner, waiting. But far heavier than the hollow ache in his stomach was the suffocating weight of unseen eyes. The village had already judged him. In their hushed whispers, he was no longer a master of the sea. He was a walking ghost, a vessel of bad fortune. Poverty is not just the absence of bread. It is the slow, relentless erosion of dignity. The younger men now turned their faces away. They looked at his patched sail, sewn together with discarded flour sacks, and saw only the white flag of a defeated man. He knew the unwritten law of the world. It forgives cruelty, it forgives greed, but it almost never forgives failure. Only one soul remained tethered to his drifting spirit. A boy continued to bring him warm coffee in cracked cups, but even the boy had been taken from him. Ordered by a frightened father to sail with a luckier, younger boat, he accepted the isolation, wrapping it around himself like a thin, tattered blanket against the evening chill. Before the sun could bleed its harsh light over the village, the old man pushed his battered wooden skiff into the black water. He chose to leave the safety of the shallow bays, rowing steadily toward the deep, terrifying heart of the ocean. When the world tells a man he is finished, he must either disappear or walk into the fire to prove he still has a right to breathe. The sun rose like a glaring eye, turning the ocean's surface into a blinding shield of hammered brass. Ours dragged into a heavy silence. Out here, there was only the immense, terrifying indifference of nature. Then came the pull. It was a heavy, deliberate, unstoppable weight, as if he had hooked the very floor of the earth. The line pulled tight, and the small boat began to move. Underneath him was a creature of unimaginable power. For 2 days and 2 nights, the giant dragged him further into the void. The sun scorched his flesh, baking his lips, his left hand cramped entirely, curling into a tight, useless claw, a sudden betrayal of his own body. He dreamed of his lost youth, of lions playing like golden kittens on the white beaches of a distant, fading land. He began to love the creature that was slowly killing him. They were brothers in the vastness, bound together by mutual suffering. On the 3rd day, the beast surfaced. It rose from the depths like a sort of solid silver, massive, beautiful, and utterly alien. With the last reserve of his fading strength, the old man drove his harpoon deep into the side of his magnificent brother. The sea boiled white with fury, then slowly settled into a spreading pool of dark, tragic crimson. The victory was a hollow echo. He lashed the giant corpse to the side of his boat, raising his patched sail toward home. The first shark hit like a dark torpedo, its jagged teeth tearing effortlessly through the perfect silver flesh. He drove his spear into the predator's brain, losing his only weapon. The injustice of it tasted like bitter ash. They came in packs as the sun began to set, cruel, relentless shapes carving through the dark water. The old man fought them with an oar, striking at the snapping jaws in the fading light, screaming his defiance. When midnight finally came, beside him was nothing but a massive, bare white skeleton, its tail still sweeping through the water. He closed his heavy eyes and felt the absolute zero of defeat. The sea had beaten him. The faint lights of the village appeared. The skiff finally ground against the familiar pebbles of the beach. He hoisted the heavy mast onto his bloody shoulders. The overwhelming weight forced him to his knees. He reached his dark shack and collapsed onto his bed covered with old newspapers, surrendering his body to oblivion. In the morning, the fishermen gathered, staring at the 18-foot white spine tied to the weathered wood. The boy wept openly, looking at the torn, sleeping hands of the man. Seeing the beautiful price of true endurance, true victory is found in the quiet knowledge that, when the darkness closed in, the human spirit refused to break. He slept on, dreaming once again of the lions on the endless white beaches.